The Summoner's Nexus TCG is a digital indie trading card game that I've been working on for the last 3-odd years. Now it's in its pre-alpha/open beta stage, which means that anyone can download it and try it for themselves. So with that in mind, I'm doing like tours and showcases of the app to bring people up to speed and show you guys what we have on offer in game. Now, one of my favorite features in the game so far is the training mode, the AI assistant that you're able to battle against in a solo mode-esque fashion. Now, this is still limited in its functionality, we're still working on it, but it's functional enough that you can play full games against it. You tap on the Ignis icon from anywhere in the main menu and it asks you if you want to train. You select yes, and then you get to choose the play style that the AI uses. You either choose an aggressive play pattern, a defensive play pattern, a balanced one, or random, which makes it a bit more like an actual match where you don't know what your opponent is going to be doing. For the purposes of this example, I'll choose for the play style to be random. Now, after that, you choose the AI's difficulty, and currently, all that this does is change the stats of the cards that your opponent will be using. At easy difficulty, they use cards that have 100 attack and defense, normal is 200, and hard is 300. Now, we're planning on introducing a version of this like system, this difficulty, that has the cards actually gain like effects and patterns and so on and so forth, but currently the AI uses beat sticks as a way to simulate what a battle would be like against an opponent. I'm going to choose the hard difficulty again for this example. It will ask you to choose a deck that you have built to take into the battle, and it asks you to specifically reduce the opponent's life points to 0. Now, in an ordinary game on turn 6, whoever has the higher amount in their Nexus gauge left over automatically wins. But against Ignis, that doesn't really work. You have to specifically reduce his Nexus gauge to 0 in order for the game to consider it a victory. So, let's head into this game, and it works just like an ordinary battle, right? Ignis is an ordinary opponent. He has a Nexus gauge, he's got a board, he will summon avatars to attack and defend. We don't actually know which playstyle he chose, so we're kind of going in blind. I will just summon my 3 cards for the turn and hope for the best. I'll go with Incinerate as my rune, as well as let's go with card exchange, and we will end the preparation phase. So the declaration phase rolls around, and it turns out that Ignis is playing an aggressive play pattern. So he has 2 cards coming at me from his assault zone and 1 card acting as a defender. Now, that doesn't do too much to change my strategy, right? I planned around dealing with something along these lines. I am going to activate Kieran to teleport over to my own assault zone. I will activate Introduction as part of the Aria strategy, and guess I'll start slowing him down just a little bit. I think I'm gonna take a little bit of damage here. Actually, no, I don't need to. I'm gonna be absolutely fine. I will use Incinerate on this card, start slowing Ignis down, and I might as well card exchange, which means that I just discard 1 card to draw 1 from my resource deck. I'll discard Exorcism, which just cleanses status conditions, and we'll go from there. So the chain is resolving backwards. I drew Wandering Gaze off of Exorcism. Incinerate activates, targets 1 opponent's card to burn them. Introduction will activate, allowing me to, well, start the Aria play pattern and chain. There's going to be a dedicated video breaking down the mindset of an Aria player and so on and so forth, like the different decks in the game and how you pilot them, so don't worry, that is incoming. Now, the battle phase rolls around, and in truth, I don't know that I'm interested in attacking. I think I'm going to save Ryu for the next turn. If you didn't know, the first turn that a card is on the field, it has an optional choice as to whether or not it wants to attack or not. But the AI, the opponent, will always attack no matter what, so that's something to, look forward to, I suppose. Battle phase 2, I'm going to get hit by my opponent's card. Boss Guardian is destroyed. I'll activate Iron Will to draw 1, and let's see what I've top decked. Looks like I've gotten an Avatar, the Wandering Phoenix. That's a nice pickup. Now, we do need to get something nice off of the top deck here, because we're running low on defenses, actually, which I didn't really think would be a problem I need to deal with this early in the game. And that is not the card I wanted to draw. Okay, so I will put this in my defense zone. I will summon this in my assault zone and this in my assault zone, since 2 cards can go there. And honestly, I was really hoping that I would top deck Freeze in this situation. That has not happened, so I'm gonna be a little bit tricky. We're gonna use Journey's End, and that, I think, is it. Yeah, we're gonna use... No, the trick doesn't work. The trick I have in mind doesn't work. I might be cooked. Wait a second. Wait a second now. I might actually be cooked. We'll set Zodiac Barrier and end the turn. So the declaration phase rolls around, and since I didn't destroy any of my opponent's cards, they didn't summon anything new. That being said, I still lost a lot of life points just, setting up the board that I currently have. So my opponent does have the lead, but I'm not too worried about that. We'll activate Monkey King. We'll follow that up with a Kirin from Ryu, followed by a, let's go Chorus on Merides. And then we'll Zodiac Barrier to protect our Ryu, and use Merides as the barrier. Huh. I might have just cooked myself. Wait a second. Did I just misplay? I think I might have just misplayed massively. Wait a second. Right? Because I'm pretty sure I have just doomed Merides to take a lot of damage here. Maybe I can fix this. Hold on. I'm going to activate Journey's End to move the Wandering Ryu back to my assault zone. That way he doesn't attack. So what Zodiac Barrier does is it says, hey, if your card is about to battle, a different card you control takes the damage instead, which is really, really nice. The problem with that is that card has a potential to be destroyed. The card that's taking the damage for you, which means that Merides would have been destroyed before she could block an attack for me, which would have sucked. But this way, I think I get to have my cake and eat it too, because Ryu still gets to attack. He still gets to have that fortification buff for Merides, who's now dead. And we get some healthy damage on our opponent. So yeah, I think I was about to misplay, but I managed to save myself there and get some healthy damage on my opponent, right? Now, I am in a really good position here. We deal another 200 to the face. My opponent's cards are pretty weak. This card has 100 attack left over. Because it's ignited, it's going to lose 50 at the start of each turn. So my opponent will be dealing 200 damage at most next turn. I'm not really too worried about that, right? What do we top deck? I specifically need Vespera, so if I didn't get that card... Oh, God just loves me too much. Look at that. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Okay, so I have two options. I can take 200 damage to the face, or I think I'm going to take 200 damage to the face. Wait, hold on. Because I can summon this. That'll cost me 50. No, there's no point in being that reckless. I can play this a little bit safe. I think I win either way. So I'm going to put these two cards on the field. And honestly, that's all that I really need for this turn, right? I think that's all that I need for this turn. We end that phase of the game. Ryu will Kirin again, rocketing back to the assault zone. We activate Outro on Vespera. And in truth, at this point, we can turn our toggle off, I think. Right? I feel like we're in a strong enough position where we're guaranteed to win. And again, if you know how this game works, you know the process that we used to get here, it's much simpler because our opponent isn't activating effects in response. This is just like a practice match, effectively. But it gives you sort of an idea on how you would conduct yourself, how you would strategize. And then in an actual game where your opponent is using effects and you're going back and forth, you get to see the actual systems and the mechanics of the game at work. But this is a relatively straightforward dub. I thought this would be harder because I did not come into this with a plan, but we go again, attack him directly, and I'm pretty sure that that's game. Yeah, beautiful. Right? We win. So that's a little showcase of the AI PvP system or PvE system that we have in the game. If this looks like something that you might enjoy for the AI practice or for an actual match, please consider subscribing because we're going to be putting some of those on the channel. Like the video because it helps us out a lot, and join the Discord so you can find matches, learn more about the game, play, so on and so forth. Thank you very much for watching and have a wonderful day. Take care.